Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Arttalk with Susana Baker, where we bring you everything, all the cultural happenings from the red carpet to the canvas. And as you know, we always are introducing some fabulous artists, curators, the cultural shakers and makers that really make our world a more beautiful place to live in. And with me this morning, I have the very talented mixed media artist, Max Jamali. Good morning.
Good morning, Susana, and good morning, Miami.
Good morning, Miami, and good morning, Max. You look so dapper and fabulous, and I love your glasses. You must have one of the best collections of glasses.
Absolutely. Only if you could show this to the viewers.
I know. We will.
Listeners.
They actually can, because they will be able to see your video starting next week at Art Scene Susana Baker on YouTube.
All right, there
and
we go.
have a nice large audience that subscribes, so they look forward to seeing this video and listening to your story.
Yes.
Now, you grew up in Iran, and you came to this Toronto at 17, and this has been your home, Toronto, but you travel to New York and Dubai and Miami a lot, and you have exploded as this amazing visual artist where your iconic images, I was so happy to come across at David Rosen Galleries, this Art Basel. How was your Art Basel?
It's my first Art Basel, and it's been fantastic. I love the energy, and as you mentioned, I grew up in Iran. I moved to Dubai when I was 12, and I moved to Toronto when I was 17. And I've always been very into expressing myself through different, mediums. I've done music, photography. I've done 10 years of fashion photography, and then I kind of transitioned my way into art slowly from 4.5 years ago, I would say.
And thank God for that. How come? Because honestly, your pieces are so beautiful. And I also love the fact that you use, Americana pop culture, like some of the celebrities that you use and you incorporate. Like you had this SLS show.
Yes.
And what was the name of that show?
It was Sunset.
Provocateur, something?
No. Oh, you're talking about the show? Or the series?
The series
it's
of
called
the
Vogue Provocateur.
Vogue Provocateur.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
sounds
the event
so
was
sexy.
Sunset Rendezvous.
Sunset Rendezvous.
That was a beautiful name.
That's very sexy, and your work is sexy. So you titled it correctly, my friend. Not only being in the beautiful SLS on Miami Beach and facing, beautiful sunsets at Miami on the west, but you can also see some of the beautiful views that you get in the beach. Yes. But I have to tell you, I saw you at David Rosen as you were bringing in this beautiful big Coco Chanel.
Yes.
And you started as a photographer. So your mixed media includes your photography.
It actually includes photorealism.
Photorealism.
So what I basically, there are specific materials and techniques I use to kind of to showcase my art. So when you actually look at a piece, you will know it's a Max Jamali original piece. There's usually a use of photorealism, either when I'm making iconic images Madonna or Kate Moss, or when I'm doing my Lips series, or when I'm doing the Coco Chanel bottle. There's always the geometrical shapes that I use the images from, the crystals and diamond dust, and also snakeskin. I use all these three materials in every single piece I create.
Snakeskin, that's so interesting. How's the working with snakeskin?
It's pretty fun, actually. I love working with different colors of snakeskin. So every art piece I create has an M logo on it. The M is handcrafted from snakeskin on every piece I have. Now in the Coco Chanel one you saw in the bottle one, so that one has a big yellow piece of snakeskin in the middle of the bottle, and which says champagne on it. So it's technically like a champagne bottle. Wow. On a Chanel bottle. And
you always use the M, which is your first initial for your name, Max.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And I have to tell you, how did you become, a lot of people our fans are interested in knowing what guided you to art? Was it at a young age? Were you surrounded by art, or were you like other artists that weren't? They were very introverted and they started to paint and they got attention. So what was your story?
You know what? It's all about expression. Actually, I look back on Google today because I remember when I got into art, I read something about what art means, and I'm just gonna read it for you guys. So it says the expression So this is basically the art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty, complexity, and emotional power. So for me, like when I got into photography, I started. We all have to get inspired somehow. When it comes to creative world, we all have to kind of like take that inspirations and channel it to use that as our inspirations. And I started looking into architecture, interior design. I looked into even design in the cars, in like I love the automotive design because it's like you have those curves and like it is kind of sexy in its way, right? So I basically wanted to create something to challenge people's perception about the pieces they see. That's why I use a lot of intense colors, and I use a lot of
beautiful
contrast.
Colors.
And that's one of the reasons I love using diamond dust and Swarovski crystals, because when you actually stand in front of the pieces, it kind of it gives you that sort of sexy feeling.
Opulence also.
Exactly.
And and the opulence is definitely added not only on the imagery, which obviously starts with some Americana pop culture or European, like Coco Chanel, but you also incorporate and infuse some butterflies that I've been seeing a lot. And butterflies is such a big symbol of freedom, of beauty, of metamorphosis stages, because it starts from, a worm to a cocoon to the beautiful butterfly. And I think that's
absolutely
what we are, right? We all find ourselves in different stages of our lives of a metamorpho stage as a butterfly. We all wish that we come out with these beautiful colors and wings. And sometimes, in those stages, we just grow, and it adds character to us when we are a worm, sometimes growing and wiggling through the experiences called life. And you certainly have emerged as a beautiful butterfly.
No, you put it so well. I mean, the butterflies I launched them in Toronto during my exhibit that's called Blue Fantasy. For me, and it was a bunch of blue butterflies on iconic faces. It's just it's exactly how you mentioned it. For me, it's definitely a symbol of freedom. And at the same time, I feel like the butterfly is something that every single individual I know would relate to it in their own ways. I love using things or materials or, imagery in my artwork that people can relate to it. So they kind of can create their own perspective of every single piece I create. Because at the end of the day, if you own one of my pieces and it's in your living room, you're going to live it. You're going to look at it every day. It's supposed to give you a certain feeling. It's supposed to, in my opinion, make your life better.
Your pieces are definitely self-esteem.
Thank you.
If you look at them and you allude, and it's not just, looking at Kate Moss, it's all about beauty. It's not that. You're really inspired by beautiful things, but also, by putting the butterfly and some of the lives, and they're all beautiful stories of heroes, unsung heroes, people that have become major stars, but it wasn't so easy getting there. And even through their ride, a lot of them had a lot of metamorphosis moments.
This is very true.
Absolutely. And so I love that you use that, and I love that you use the diamond in the rough, because all that dust, diamond dust, that itself is like irony, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
that's
so
true.
and so I love all of that you do, and that's amazing. So how can people find out more? Back to the story that I'm not sure if you answered. I know that you said through the definition of what you love about art being, seeing visually all the complexity of life and beauty and the expression of that.
Yes.
But as a child, did this become something as a teenager, picking up a camera? Did someone for Christmas give you a camera, or for a holiday? Or how did you pick up the lens? Because you started first as a photographer.
I used to, back when I was probably around 10 or 11, I used to sketch. So I've done that. It wasn't anything, again, it didn't really start at that point for me, but I always want to, again, express myself somehow. When I was 12 and when I moved to Dubai, I started going to music school. And I started taking guitar classes and flamenco guitar classes. Just for me, it was very I don't know. Again, like it kind of like awakened something in me, and I love that. And I've done that for 5 years until like when I was like around 17, when I moved to Canada. So like that for me, like I was actually like at a bunch of competitions. Like there was like
Oh, that's awesome.
what is it called? The Pittsburgh University Jazz Festival in Dubai that we did.
Playing flamenco guitar.
Flamenco guitar,
guitar is such a passionate instrument.
It's a very, and it just connects you to that culture too. Somehow, like you just want to like know more. And,
yeah,
like,
and I think we all have a gypsy in us, you know,
Yeah.
that wants to dance when those doors are open. So much things can, fly out. You
Again,
know,
it's all about like finding ways to express yourself either through like music or art. So going basically from that, the photography started when one of my friends was actually going for a dance competition. I always want to grab a camera, and she was like, why don't you just buy a camera? And I just come like shoot my competition. I'm like, what, that's actually a great reason for me to like invest in one.
Right.
So I grabbed it. I started like I kind of like shot a couple of images of her. Then I sent it to the company that was kind of running
Producing the
photography
show.
of the show.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I kind of like started. I got hired and started being a dance photographer.
That's awesome.
So that's how my photography career started.
What was the first picture that you said, you know what, I'm going to blow this up and I'm going to do something more to it? What was that? What do you remember? What picture was the one that said to you, you know what, I like this, but I'm going to even take it another level?
Yeah, it was actually it was a series that I did for a magazine, for a fashion magazine. It was basically like a cover story, and it just like there were a lot of very edgy colors and cuts and stuff, and it was a very creative editorial. That's where I was like when I looked at it, I'm like, you know what, there's more that could be done to this, and I feel like that was like the start of it, and that was pretty much like around 5 years ago.
Wow. So 5 years, my friend, with your first Art Basel and you're young. You're young. You have a whole life in front of you to do and keep beautifying the world with your imagery. I only see great things for you because they are beautiful. I mean, to put a piece of Max Jamali in your home, on your living room, in your bedroom, it's so beautiful, your work.
At the end of the day, honestly, like I live through the feedbacks I get from my clients. I always try to like keep in touch with them, see like how they feel about the piece, how they're like enjoying it, what exactly, like for me, these are the kind of stuff that really pushes me forward and like, gets me inspired to kind of create the future.
Have you done any shows in Europe, in France, and London?
So the shows I'm doing, actually 2020 is going to be a very busy year for me.
What's the next show you're doing? So maybe some fans. This is an international and national
No, absolutely.
program.
So the next major one is going to be mid-February in LA. Before that, I'm working to be a part of a show during New York Fashion Week, but that's not confirmed yet, but it's like most likely going to happen. That is going to be smaller. I'm just going to be a part of a bigger kind of like bigger entertainment that's going to happen during New York Fashion Week, but the LA one is going to be pretty much a solo show. And actually, one thing I'm really excited for the LA one is collaborating with the Swiss watch brand Ernst Benz.
Nice.
So I actually had a conversation with them, and we decided to create a custom Ernst Benz timepiece that kind of tells the story of my art through a combination of texture and material with their brand.
Wow.
So their brand is like very like it's all about textures and like what's used and the dial.
Something tells me I'm going to see snakeskin and diamond dust.
Actually, that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, for sure. So we are like very excited to collaborate on that and launch it during my
I
LA
think you should do your own watch line after a while because I see that really being big.
It would be
It would be amazing, and we launch it in Dubai with a big party.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
Honestly, collaborating with like Ernst Benz is an amazing
is,
watch company.
yeah.
Like I love them. They're just like they're very outside of the box when it comes down to like doing like moving the brand.
Yeah.
And I feel like right after LA, we'll definitely like push it forward to Dubai too.
It's unique, like you're unique.
Thank you.
How can people find out more about you?
So my handle, everything is under my name. It's Max Jamali. It's MAXJAMALI. That's my Instagram. My website is maxjamali.com. I'm definitely going to post all the updates and everything that followers would need to kind of
to
like,
see
know
the
about
events.
the
So
upcoming
going to
events.
maxjamali.com, you're going to have a calendar of events. I will share them also under our website, which is www.theartexperiences.com, because actually you met me doing the Ron English show.
Yes.
We had a fabulous Saturday night with David Rosen Galleries at the Prestige Imports Arts pop-up in the Design District. And Ron English brought some of his beautiful new paintings of Marilyn Monroe upturned Mickey Mouse breasts.
I love those.
Wasn't
yes.
those great? And
that was fantastic.
How about the split Elvis Presley's? Those were
that
amazing.
that was such a great show. I'm so glad I was there that evening as well.
And I mean, there were great people that came to support Ron English. Anthony Lester, Lady Ika was there. It was just on and on. And of course, Valerie David Kay, who is so fabulous, and her generosity of doing what she does, Drive to Revive, which
That's
is
a beautiful one too. I
Yeah,
love it.
Drive to Revive, which is all about her foundation for kids with diseases that they go into these cars and they
That's
do
beautiful.
a track, which really, it's like, going and seeing a Max Jamali, it revives you.
No, I love that.
It makes you dream. It should have you inspire and become creative. And like I say, there's such great people that have this, they want to give back, And I love, and I'm going to invite you, and I'm going to
would
put
love
this
to.
out in the universe.
Yes.
We're doing a summer camp with Mana, and it's going to be for inner city kids. It's going to be in our graffiti museum.
Beautiful.
And we're going to invite artists to work with our children and to teach them.
Yes,
And
that would
I
be
think
fantastic.
that you would be great to come and spend a nice moment with our kids, teaching them about butterflies and about imagery and self-esteem. And Max Jamali, thank you so much
love
for
to.
being with Art Talk with Susana Baker. Again, you can find out about
Thanks for having
maxjamali.com, his Instagram as well, Max Jamali. And again, Art Talk with Susana Baker, bringing you everything from the red carpet to the canvas, all the cultural influencers and makers. God bless you. Keep you safe. See you next Friday. Art Talk with Susana Baker on Bloomberg Radio, 880 The Biz. See you next Friday. Thank you,
See
Max.
you guys soon. Thank you.